That ethics bill we just talked about is one of a dozen bills underway, just starting to get public attention. We mentioned it passed the state Senate without opposition this week, support from Republicans and Democrats. And we're going to start right there with State Senator Shevrin Jones, Democrat repping northern Miami-Dade from Miami Gardens to the beach. Senator Jones, great to have you.
Thank you for having me, Glenna.
All right, so I know you have been able to listen to part one of our discussion with the ethics investigators, part two to come. But I want to get your sense. I mean, the whole Senate, but for Bobby Powell, who didn't vote, a Democrat from West Palm, everyone voted for this ethics bill. And I just want to hear your take on it now that you're hearing the concerns of ethics investigators. Tell me.
Yeah, you know what, Glenna? The ethics investigators, they are so correct at how the bill came. It came extremely fast. The amendment, to be exact, came extremely fast. And it's being in the chambers is not like being in committee to where you can hear the testimony from the experts to talk about what's wrong with the bill. And I totally understand. I think we're very early within the process of the legislative process to where that bill is going to have to come back from the House side. My hope is that the investigators speak to the bill sponsor to bring those concerns, because I think what they were trying to get at was not to impede on the work of the investigators, because we do want to ensure that we catch the corruption from individuals that are doing the wrongdoing. But there have been, and there are individuals who utilize that for frivolous complaints that are not true. I don't think, and I do not believe that Senator Burge's idea of that was to impede on the local investigators.
Yeah, and to your point, if you read the bill, there is definitely an eye toward eliminating malicious or politically
Right,
motivated ethics investigations, and anyone can
right.
launch any investigation. But
Yeah.
then hamstringing investigators from launching their own was really interesting, because I will say here at Local 10, we've done stories where I'm not sure it became an ethics investigation, but certainly it became criminal investigations. Based on our stories, we know the Miami-Dade State Attorney has launched criminal investigations. So what's the difference?
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. I think the nuances of the bill is probably what we're speaking of right now, and not understanding. And I'm sorry, I'll speak for me, and that is not understanding that in detail like that. And again, my hope is that once, as we still go through the process, that when that bill come back, sure, from the House side, when they do their amendments and things, that the ethics investigators and those who are the actual practitioners, who are doing the on the ground from the local investigators standpoint, that they would bring those concerns up within these next few weeks so we can make that clear. If not, yeah, that it becomes a more question on, how do we do this so individuals who are doing the wrongdoing are not just doing it and they're not being called out, and allowing the ethics investigators to do their work as they should be doing.
Yeah, well, actually, the House version of the bill does not have that amendment. That
Yes, yeah,
just doesn't exist in the House bill, and then of course the bills have to match for it to become law.
exactly.
Would you advocate taking that amendment out? Can you take an amendment out once it's added?
Absolutely, you there, but because the Senate and the House are going to have to join and negotiate on what bill they want, and when the bill start getting into messaging towards the last few weeks of session, either that language will come out and the Senate will accept the House version, or the House will accept the Senate version. But I'm almost sure that the ethics investigators who spoke very eloquently and was very clear on how this impeded on their work, I'm hoping that they will speak to the Senate to take the House version to ensure that what we voted on in the Senate is not the direction we should go in, but we should ensure that the ethics investigators from across the state should be able to do their jobs.
Yeah. Okay. Subject change, if I can. The Senate bill that would have paved the way for gambling in Miami Beach, specifically in Fontainebleau, by allowing Fontainebleau owners to take a gambling permit from a Broward dog track and essentially move it. So that bill was cooking, and then this week at the Miami Beach Commission, lobbyist Ron Book walked in and said, "Hey, it's dead." It doesn't look to be dead, but it does look to be on life support. And since this is your district, what happened there?
Well, listen, I represent Miami Beach, and I'll be very clear that the residents of Miami Beach make extremely clear that this is not what they wanted. They did not want, and they do not want gaming in their community. My office received over 300 emails. I was prepared to print every single email that came into our office to make it clear. Because if passed, this could have opened up areas like Miami Beach to new casinos development. And Miami Beach is already having a traffic problem for one. And then I think the people spoke loud and clear years ago that they didn't want an expansion in gaming in this manner. And so we have to respect the will of the people. And I'm happy that because it would have came to my committee on Monday, tomorrow.
All right, so let me just, well, respecting the will of the people is kind of what we're all supposed to do. The will of the people, to your point, was pretty clear 2 years ago when they tried. And again,
Yep.
a lot of money spent on this effort. It came back, and
Hmm.
really it did not enter the life support venue until a couple of millionaire, billionaires, and maybe more entered the picture. Let's name Norman Brayman and Armando Codina, developers, and Ken Griffin, who have together this week voiced extreme opposition and offered to fund the opposition that Miami Beach had. So is this a billionaire versus billionaire fight? Because the will of the people has been pretty clear a couple of years now.
No, it definitely has been clear. I'm not sure whether it's a billionaire versus billionaire type of fight, but I can tell you that I appreciate the fact that they got the interest of the people, and they were prepared to bring people up to Tallahassee from Miami Beach to make it clear that this is not what we want in our city. I think the people they in their emails, one of the things that they made extremely clear is like messing up what they are already doing, the plans that Miami Beach already have when it comes to traffic, when it comes to these things. I mean, they have valid points for it. Their reasoning for it, they can, whatever the reason is, fine. But as long as we don't have to see that bill right now, and I'm hoping that we can just do away with it because again, the people have spoken. Let's leave it at that.
Just for the record, I don't want anyone to think that we have a position on that bill. None at all.
No.
Just part of our Q&A. So one last thing before I know you have to go, but one last thing. We had the House Speaker here last week talking about the HB1, the social media bill that would prevent 16-year-olds from having social media accounts. And it was all about mental health and protecting kids. There's really no bill in the Senate that is equal, but there are a couple of bills that have components of it in the Senate. Wondering your take on that bill and if you are supporting it.
Yeah, let me tell you, I don't know if individuals who are watching had the opportunity to watch the Senate hearing, the U.S. Senate hearing. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I actually agree with Lindsey Graham and his take with Mark Zuckerberg. I think social media, particularly when used the wrong way, has really done some damage to the mental health of our young people and also to our adults. Yeah, I look at my district and what many parents have spoken about and what social media has done and how it is the starting place for many on-campus fights on campuses. It is also the starting place for a lot of community violence. And being able to limit a minor's ability to access social media due to various negative outcomes that come from it, I actually 100% support it. However, I think it's important that we find a balance with limiting social media for minors because it's a resource for many young children, for young people. But we have to strike that balance. But as pertains to HB1 and making sure parents know what their children are doing on social media, 100%. I am strong support of it.
Balance is good. Senator Shevrin Jones, always great to have you on the program. Great to see you.
Thanks, Glenda.
All
Thank you,
right.
Glenda.